Jelly Roll is here, man. It's been a hell of a few weeks for you. Congratulations on everything, bro.
Why, thank you, baby. The Academy of Country Music Award winning Jelly Roll. Hey, 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 hey.
Dude, I just that the event of the year with you and Lainey, it was just an amazing track, and it gave that song a second life for you because you had released it solo,
yes, sir.
More on the rock side of things, and then to give that song some life in country, it's cool when that's able to happen like organically and authentically, and obviously it did with you and Lainey.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, that song, that's why I was so emotional. I don't think I'd have got that emotional if I'd have won any other award I was nominated for that night. That song really changed my life, B-Dub. I mean, it shifted everything for me. It's the reason record labels started calling. It's the reason the world started paying attention. It was my first platinum selling song ever, and it's 3 or 4 times platinum, I believe, and then Lainey got on. It went on to be just a huge radio smash. I mean, just came back around. We performed it at different award shows across America and different stages and television performances, and just had this song ended up with this, in true Jelly Roll fashion, this just crazy story. The song itself now has its own really cool story. So for it to get honored that night meant a lot.
Are you surprised at how quickly things have moved since Son of a Sinner? Because that song took a little over a year to go from, shipping it to officially becoming a single to going to number 1. And then all of a sudden it just feels like 22 and 23, it's just been like back to back to back massive smashes. Are you surprised at the pace at which the songs have peaked and gone on, to become library records, as we say in the radio business?
No, I think that we've been blessed. I think that what happened with me, B-Dub, is that I got really lucky, right? And I'll tell you how I got lucky in a lot of ways. One was that I didn't receive any kind of real notoriety until I was in my late 30s. So even though I'm a little bit of a wild card factor and say wild stuff, I was kind of seasoned and ready for the moment. You know what I mean? I'd kind of already went through all my younger, wilder stuff. And then I also got to come into the business and receive commercial success at a time when you cannot consume music quick enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like years ago, this kind of would have been a problem. You know what I mean? But it's like now it's like weird. This is the pace in which Morgan Wallen's putting out new music right now, and he dropped a 36-song album last year that's had like 5 or 6 number ones on it already.
Right.
Right. So it's just, you look at the pace of which the game is being played. Even guys like Kane and Luke and Jason and Nate Smith, Bailey Zimmerman. It's not even just the older country. It's some of the newer guys like myself, Hardy. It's just, we're in a great era for music, man. You almost can't do enough of it.
Well, Zach Bryan is another example that literally put out an album, and then it seemed like a week, maybe a month later, he's like, I got new music coming. It's like, well, wait a second. I haven't spent enough time.
It's
but
great.
It's good. I'd rather have too much music to have time to explore. It's like the audio equivalent of binge watching your favorite TV series.
Yes.
Like by the time you get to it, there's 3 more seasons of that show ready to go.
For sure.
That's for me is what music is at this point in really all genres beyond country too. And I think it's a good thing, especially if you're a music lover.
Yeah. And I think it's cool. I think I'm a big supporter of radio. Obviously, radio's been so good to me, and it's been fun to watch radio keep up with the pace of the landscape.
Right, and it's hard to do because
it's hard to do. But even radios rolled their sleeves up, like, oh, this is the era we're in. Let's go, baby, bring it, come on, turn and burn. You know what I mean? It's just been really cool to watch.
It reminds me of how radio was almost in the coming up in the 50s and 60s, and just when it was just you were on to the next thing really quick because that was the only thing you had to listen to was the radio, and obviously going and buying vinyls and things like that, but. It kind of seems like musically we're in that era again to where, we're moving through things a little quicker. And they might come back. They might not. They might just be for the moment. Either way, that's okay.
For sure. That's the deal, too. And the cool thing is we'll never really know until 30 years from now they talk about this decade because that's going to happen. That's been the coolest thing. The coolest moment I've had in all this B-Dub is that I realized the other day that I dropped Save Me in 2020.
Wow.
Which obviously will be overshadowed by the pandemic. But what I mean is I've been obsessed with these shows lately. Me and my wife, music of the 90s, TV shows of the 2000s. These really hit, all this stuff. And I was like, one day they're going to do it about the 2020s. And right after they get over the lockdown hump, It's going to go right into the explosion of country music, and I'm going to be a cliff note in there, and that's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
That's awesome. It's been fun to watch you go from playing clubs to selling out arenas. You know, you did smaller arenas, and now you're doing full-size arenas. You got a couple stadium dates, you know, that you're doing with Morgan. And I'm just like, and obviously have before you've been direct support. You did with church. You're a guy that you're if it makes sense for you, you find a way to make it work for your fans. To where if you're opening, if you're direct support, if you're the headliner, if it's good for Jelly Roll and his fans, you go do it, and that's so different from what you typically see.
Yeah, we have no problem playing shows, man. I mean, I take much pride in the fact that I'm like willing to just, dude, we want to go sing. That's what listen, I came up traveling in a van, just nonstop touring, you know. I was talking to my brother last night. It's my biological brother, one of my best friends. We're sitting on the back porch, and he goes, have you ever been to Idaho Falls, Idaho? I was like 5 times a year for 6 years. He was like, do what? I was like at least 4 times a year, every season. But normally 5. We'd come through another time on an off where we played Bozeman or Missoula or just on one of the off cycles of the other season. You know, we'd at least swing by. He was like, you're kidding me. I was like, for 5 years, dude, I've been there 50 times. You know what I'm saying? It just blew his mind.
What is your brother's name?
Scott.
Scott, I stood next to him in the sound booth at Country Thunder this year and got a chance to talk to him. And you were telling the story coming up on we'll get into this in a second, but a certain thing you discovered through him. And he goes, no, do not tell this story at all. But it was cool to kind of see it was a moment of pride for him, kind of looking, that's my baby bro up there, you know, just killing it in front of 25,000 people.
Oh, it's so fun, too. God, that was awesome. Yeah, it's a true story, man. It's a true story. That's my brother, same brother I'm talking about. We're sitting on the porch the other night, and he's just wow. Yeah. He's just wow. And he's talking, and I'm just kind of casual. I was like, yeah, of course I've been there. He's like, really? I was like, yeah, we played the same bar there 4 times a year.
Let's talk about the song you debuted on the ACMs. This Lies, right, is the name of it.
Yes, sir, Liar.
Liar.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
So talk about the story of getting this one written, the inspiration behind it, because I feel like we're going to be hearing that real soon.
Oh, I hope so, man. I hope it catches a little buzz. I just love the record, man. It was I was thinking about the perspective of the lies that I've been believed. And more often than not, they were ones that either I told myself or somebody told me, and I believed them, and they only were real because I believed them, you know? And I just kind of was like, what's the counter music to that?
I like that. It's just very simple. Halfway to Hell is nearing towards the top. This will be, if my calculations are correct, 4 in a row for you to start off your career country radio, man.
4 number 1s at country radio for me. This is unbelievable. Never thought I'd be on the phone with you talking about I never thought I'd be talking about my first number 1, but from Son of a Sinner to now, 2 years later, and say we're talking about my 4th number 1 at country radio. And it was a tempo song. Get out of here.
Dude, if you'd asked yourself 5 years ago, you know, or asked anyone 5 years ago, even a year ago, 2 years ago, if 4 of the biggest things happening in country music would have been Jelly Roll, Shaboozey, Marshmello, and Post Malone, like just the names alone, people would be like, dude, what? What are you smoking? But I love it.
Comes 2 to 3 to the 4.
Dude, that song is so catchy. It's so
good. I don't care who you are. You want to hear it. It's just whoever, especially if you get it. I knew the appeal of the song, and I love Shaboozey. But I really got the appeal of the song when we went out and had a cocktail after the CMT Awards, and everywhere I went, that's all we all wanted to hear.
Dude, it's insane.
It's like, play the tipsy
You can't get
song
away from
again. No, it's how I feel about it. I had some help.
Yes, same thing.
I mean?
Same thing. It's absolutely awesome.
Hey, I'll give you more perspective because I know you love to nerd out about this stuff in this era that we're in right now.
Mm-hmm.
Song of the Summer last year, the 2 songs of the summer last year. You ready?
Yeah.
Last Night by Morgan Wallen.
Mm-hmm.
Fast Car by Luke Combs.
This year.
This year.
Yeah.
It's going to be Post Malone and Morgan Wallen and Shaboozey.
Yeah.
And country music will have had the 2 songs of the summer 2 years in a row.
I love it, dude. It's great for everybody.
And listen, I come alive in the fall time. I'm telling you. For sure.
There you go. All right, before we wrap here, we're going to play a little game that we like to do. Last time you were on the show, we did some icebreakers. We've done that already. We're on to the next cool thing, all right? Mount Rushmore. There's 4 presidents on Mount Rushmore. So I do a part of the show called What's Your Mount Rushmore? I'm going to give you a category, and you just, first 4 things that come to mind in that category, just whatever, all right? Now, as the kid, we got to be careful how we say I don't want to get flagged for content. But the kids call this particular hobby that you like to partake in gardening, I guess, is what they refer to it these days. So when it comes to gardening, one of the side effects is you might, get hungry. You might get the munchies. So on your Mount Rushmore of midnight munchie snacks, Jelly Roll, what are your top 4 things?
Top 4 things. Are we like restaurant style or grocery? You got to give me we got to check because that's too much. I'll think about it forever.
Just
limited to like
food items. Like if you're like, you know what, you get up and it's
limited to a gas station.
All right, so okay, we'll make this fair. What's your Mount Rushmore with Jelly Roll? Midnight munchie Buc-ee's type snacks, cool. or Wawa or wherever you are, depending on where you're at.
We're gonna do Buc-ee's because it's just incredible. You know what? No, we'll keep it down the middle. Honey bun. You can't go wrong with a honey bun. And if you want to do an old prison trick, you take a honey bun and put a Snicker on top of it and heat it up for 30 seconds.
Wait.
Maybe 15 seconds. Just let that Snicker just melt a little bit on top of that honey bun.
All right, Mount Rushmore of midnight snacks with Jelly Roll. Number 1 is honey bun. On to number 2.
Number 2, Sour Patch Kids. They're the gift that keeps giving. They're nonstop. They're
the OG or the watermelon?
All the above. Any kind of, you don't matter. I'll take them all, dude. Sour Patch Kids, number 2 for sure.
Number 3 on Mount Rushmore of munchie snacks with Jelly Roll.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Yes.
They're undefeated. They're a tale as old as time. You can never go wrong. You know what I'm saying? A peanut butter and jelly sandwich will never let you down anytime you might be altered. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. All right. And we're doing What's Your Mount Rushmore with Jelly Roll, midnight munchie snacks. After you've, maybe partaken a little bit, you pulled a Willie Nelson. Number 4, what's that going to be, Jelly?
A bowl of cereal.
Yes.
Yes.
So simple.
Yes,
so simple.
Baby. It's the classics that always keep you coming back, dude. You know what I'm saying?
So what's the go-to cereal, though?
Oh, I've got so many choices here. It's a mood. It's kind of a mood-driven thing. That's one thing that's kind of open. But if I'm at a store right now and I'm buying my own, I'm doing the Reese's Puffs or I'm doing Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Dude, Cinnamon Toast Crunch is a game changer, 100%.
Especially soggy.
And you got to drink the milk after,
soggy,
too.
Little crunch. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Well, brother, I'll see you on the road real soon. I'm going to hit the stop button here, and then we'll just make sure this uploads okay.
Cool.
So
love you,
thank you for the time today.
Always, baby.